Guide me among those whom thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what thou hast judged. Surely thou judgest, and none can judge against thee, and he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art thou, O Lord, and exalted be thee above what they set up besides thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. Join us for Donate and Sip 2. We are hosting an event to help raise funds for the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. The event will take place Saturday, July 9th, 2022. This non-alcoholic wine and sparkling tea tasting event is sponsored by Magnolia Crescent Non-Alcoholic Winery and will be held at the historic Honorable Elijah Muhammad House located at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue in the rear garden. Bring a friend, come by, and celebrate this historic project with us on Saturday, July 9th, 2022 from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. To register for this historic event, click the link in the bio or simply go to eventbrite.com and search Donate and Sip. Capacity is limited.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Everybody has dreams. Nobody knows but you You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dream, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. And people will help you. When you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe. People come along because your belief is so insane. Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it.
Many of you, as I have been, as I am, are where you are in your life based upon what you believe. And it's not just what you think you believe on the surface, it's also your shadow beliefs that are holding you back from moving into the life that you believe you deserve. What I know is if you're not looking at the shadows, if you're not looking at what is subconsciously running through the tape in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough, which is a tape that's playing for a lot of people. If you're not conscious of that, then you end up acting out of that belief system and not out of what you know to be the truest or want to be the truest for yourself. You don't become what you want because so much of wanting is about living in the space of what you don't have. That's why Jim Carrey's story is so powerful, because he started to act as though he already had it. He would go up to Mulholland Drive, he would drive away thinking, I already have those things, I just haven't accessed them as yet. I believe those things are going to come to me and I'm going to act like they are. So I'm going to move forward in my life in order to draw that to myself in such a way that my actions are in alignment with what I say I believe. So if you start to think about that, really, why are you where you are in your life? The choices that you have made have been because of what you believe to be true for yourself.
If you can, for the rest of your life, live inside of yourself, stop listening to people who are calling you fat. Everything that is makes no sense. All these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you got to flush it out. You got to take everything and throw it away. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself. Right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not going to find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it. And that means you got to be quiet. Go in a room, stop talking, search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it. But if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. So you got to go start your journey. And the journey starts with you finding, why the hell am I here on this planet Earth? Why am I here? If you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question.
You have to believe you deserve to win. And sometimes it's not just that we think we're good, but that we've done so much, we must be worthy of winning. See, there's this adage in life, good people in life won't take more from the table of life than they think they're worthy of and they deserve. See, in business sometimes, short term, we've all seen this, someone with bad intentions can get ahead short term. But you always reap what you sow. Karma is always a real thing. And eventually the people that take shortcuts, that cheat, that hurt other people, that have ill intent, the world, the universe, God sort of finds a way eventually to get them where they're supposed to be. But good people will never take more than they think they're worth, which is why the mandatory requirement for good people to win is they believe they deserve it. They believe they're worth winning. And sometimes it's not just who we are that we need to believe in, but what we've done in this sense. That sometimes you've got to outwork everybody and you've got to be willing to do the things nobody else is willing to do. So you begin to convince yourself, man, I'm doing all the things everybody else is unwilling to do. So I deserve to get the results other people aren't going to get.
Greetings, family.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. Assalamu alaikum. I see y'all in the chat. Bro Aunt D, Brother Lamont, Sister Roxanne, Brother Kevin. Shout out to Brother Kevin. Brother Carlos, Sister Alita. I see y'all in there. Look, I wanted to play that this morning for two reasons. Because I realize that a lot of times we go through stuff. We just go through shit because we sometimes find ourselves buying into a belief system that comes from people maybe that we're in relationships with, whether we work with them, whether we're married to them, whether we're friends with them, whether it's people who don't even know us, but they have a certain belief system about themselves, which causes them to project negativity onto us. They may say, oh, you know, you old fat so-and-so, or oh, you old ugly so-and-so, or you don't deserve to win. All of the things that are going on inside of them, oftentimes they project onto you. And what's interesting is that because love is such a powerful conduit, the people who are close to you or the people who love you can impact your self-esteem the most. Okay. This is somebody's word today. The people who love you can impact oftentimes your self-esteem the most. Why? Because you're open to them. You love them. You are looking and you've opened yourself up and you're preparing to receive love from them. So you have that channel open and they don't give you love. They give you negativity, or they give you limitation, or they give you whatever is nasty or ugly inside of themselves. They reflect that out. They propel that out and give it to you. And you're open because you're really open, expecting the love. This is an interesting topic. It's like you open the door and you expect a certain person to walk through. But while you got that door wide open and you're not guarding the door, anybody can come through. A thief, a murderer, but you're just waiting for your loved one. But here comes that person that comes in the door that's open that hurts you. And then they get in. And this is where the real work begins. Because oftentimes they get in and now we're dealing with all of our crap. And that's really what I want to deal with and talk about this morning. It's just the lack of emotional intelligence and the crap that goes on inside of us that makes us ripe for the crap that somebody else is dumping on us. So anyway, happy Saturday. We're going to talk about that. Welcome. It's Donate and Sip Today. No pun intended. So you can register at Eventbrite for the event. We're having a fundraiser at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue. We got some good momentum, great people coming. We're just excited. It's so wonderful to share the energy of that incredible property with others. I was working yesterday, working to get everything going, working to, get my car loaded up and get all the stuff down there and make my second trip this morning. But I also wanted to make sure that I selected music that we would play that would have the right vibrational frequency so that you feel good and you feel loved. So I chose a selection of songs that calibrate us to love, not because they say anything about love in the songs, but because of certain notes. See, there's certain notes and frequency. Love has a frequency, sex has a frequency, money has a frequency. All these different things have a frequency. And when you listen to music, you have to find something that has a frequency that aligns with your goal for the event. And so I spent some time doing that, making sure that It was music that wouldn't trigger other things in people, but music that was comforting, loving, just like the beautiful man that lived in that house. And so that's today. Donate and sip today. That's right. Just like that. Donate and sip today. So that's today. It's from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, located at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue. If you cannot attend, what we're doing is we want everybody who attends to go live on their pages. Go live on your Facebook, go live on your Instagram soon as you get there, and let the world see what you're experiencing and let them know how you're feeling. So that's our campaign. We'll set something up where those of you who can attend can see it. But if you have friends that are attending, just hit them up because they should be going live as well from the event. And if you cannot attend and you want to donate, scrolling across the bottom of the screen are the instructions to make a donation. SajdahHouseDonations.com is where you can pop right out there. If you like this content, just pop out there and make a donation. Some people get a little wonky about putting their name and information in there, but it's important that we understand and know where the donations are coming from. And I'm the only one who's going to see it. So if you're out there and you're private and you're worried, you're like, I want to give, but I don't want my name out there, then that's a list that's not shared. I just like to make sure that I know where, the funds are coming from. So yes, when you go to SajdahHouseDonations.com, you do have to give your information. And so I know sometimes Brother and Sister Anonymous, they like to make donations, and that's good too. You can send those in or send it over to the house, but just trust that when you do put your information at SajdahHouseDonations.com, it's not a public thing. So anyway, greetings to everybody. We started off just really watching that video about believing in yourself and believing that you deserve it. And then I led in with talking about how oftentimes we leave the door open for people who we love, who oftentimes send us negativity. They make us feel insecure about ourselves. They may know things about us that we're not all that comfortable with about ourselves, because everybody got something about themselves that they want to improve. Whether it's your weight, your body, it could be your hair, it could be just, your emotions, whatever it is. It could be your money, your financial situations. And Brother Andy said, peace to the anonymous family. That's right. Peace and blessings, anonymous family. We accept your donations too. You can send yours via Cash App. But anyway, and so we have these insecurities that we are dealing with, we're battling, we're struggling with, and oftentimes we leave the door open. And when the light is shown on those insecurities by somebody who loves us, it's uncomfortable. One of the things that I try my best to do is I try to provide a safe space for people when they're around me, so that if there's anything that they need or they want to work on, if I don't have it to give it to them, I can help them figure out how to get it. And just being safe so that I'm not exposing them or bullying them into or bullying somebody else into giving them what they want. I'm not outing them. I'm not announcing from the mountaintop what their insecurity is and what they came to me for. It's about being safe and letting people know that they can be safe with you. To me, that's part of a definition of love. But here's the other side of it. What happens to us oftentimes is we got our own crap. And there's a phrase out here. There's a phrase out here called fake it till you make it. And I see that as very detrimental. I'm not talking about visioning what you want and becoming who you are and anticipating how you'll feel emotionally when you get it and emotionalizing and visualizing yourself into whatever it is that you want. You all know we talk about that on manifestation class. Figure out what the emotion will be when the event happens, when the victory comes, and then attaching yourself and chasing that emotional high and feeling that emotion as you're working and planning, as you're visualizing. So you're matching up the emotion with your visualization, with your work. So now you have this full momentum. And while you're doing that, you're in a space of gratitude and looking for Allah in everything. I'm not talking about that formula. I'm not talking about that cocktail. I'm talking about people who are just outright phony. You just fake. And sometimes some people are so fake that they don't even know that they're fake, that's the sad part about it. They will come to you and tell you something that I've had people come to me and say, somebody that's a good friend of mine and say, I talked to them about your project or about what you're doing, and they said they didn't know nothing about it. And I'm looking at them like, now, daggone well, that person did not say that, but you over here so fake and so phony. And sometimes we don't understand that all that faking it is what's impeding our progress. Sometimes we do the fake stuff because we're insecure. We want to be noticed. We want to be recognized. We want somebody to see us. We want to appear to be more than what we are. And so we fake it out. And when you're living in a space of fakeness, then your decisions are fake. Your conversations are fake. The way you present yourself is fake. And real people see the fake stuff. Type in the chat if real recognize real and real also sees fake. Let me know what you think, because we see it. So the idea is to work to become, again, as we talk about on a manifestation class, to be your authentic self. Whatever that is, be your authentic self. Because let me tell you, one of the worst people, Brother Andy said they call it capping. That's exactly right. People constantly capping. One of the worst things in business is if you have somebody working for you and they're fake or they constantly capping. It is the absolute worst thing. Let me tell you why. Because in business, you're only as good as the information that you receive. So one of the things that I prided myself on early on, especially when I started working for myself, and people that I was working with oftentimes are people that are close to me. And I would always tell my business partner, Dr. Dormu, I say, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I give you the same amount of respect that I give those white folks downtown. I'm not going to take advantage of the fact that I know that you're one of my best friends. I'm going to make sure that I give you information that's truth. I want to make sure it's timely. I want to make sure I'm honest. I'm going to make sure that I do what I can to protect your decision-making abilities. And to the best of my ability, I kept my word with that to him. And likewise, he did the same with me, and he still does. And I say that because oftentimes you get in business, you start to get a little notoriety, people start to notice you, you get some popularity, and then here come the fake folks, the capping folks. And then they start to give you information. And if that person is a reliable person and you move on that information, it's going to mess up your checks. It's going to mess up your, why does it mess up your checks? Because it messes up your decision-making ability, because your math will be off, because you'll be calculating based on the wrong data. It will mess up your choices, because you'll either assume you have a choice that you don't, or you assume, or you won't recognize a choice that you don't, that you do have. It'll mess up everything in terms of the flow of your work and your project. You're only as good as the information that the people around you give. So what I always want, if you do business with me, that I'm going to keep it so real with you that you can rely on me as if I'm yourself. But see, when you're insecure and you're faking it, you're capping, you start compensating for that fakeness. So you start lying about who does what or who says what. You start over promoting yourself. This is the worst thing you can do in business when you're working with somebody, especially an entrepreneur, especially somebody like ourselves, who we're already out over our skis. See, I'm not just doing basic little projects that if y'all don't show up, I can do myself. I'm pushing myself out there and I'm doing projects that it's impossible for me to do by myself. So when you come on out there and you come with the fake information and you start lying to cover up your fakeness and doing all kind of weird stuff, well, then now I can't rely on you. And so over time, I've had a lot of people that get upset with me because I just kind of start to phase them out of the work that I'm doing. It's not that I don't love you. It's not that maybe you're not a friend. Maybe you're not even around. Maybe you're just not around like you used to be. See, I love the fact, for example, my brother and I, we keep it real with one another. And so we're always there for one another. And so, interestingly enough, we wouldn't even be talking about Donate and Sip if it wasn't for my brother Kevin making those moves for me to be able to even buy the house. When we had the first Donate and Sip, he was the first person to step up with a $10,000 donation. He was the first person to say, I'm going to dedicate a certain amount of money to support the project. So somebody like, and I'm not saying it's not about donations, but it's about keeping your word. It's about me knowing that in the back of my mind, if I need him, he's there. I have other great friends. Sister Aletha is on the chat. I've known her for years. I know that when Aletha says something is real, and if she's not sure, she says to me, you know what, I'm not really sure. But she's not going to make up stuff just to cap and put herself in a certain position because she don't have to. She knows that I'm her sister. I got her back. And so she got my back. So she ain't got to try to add nothing to it. She don't have to go around other people and try to front. But trust me, when you are doing business with high-level individuals, you cannot do that faking and capping stuff. They cannot put you in front of checks with them. You will mess up your money because you're going to mess up their money. And if they catch it, they're going to get rid of you before you mess up their money. Doesn't mean you're not a nice person. Doesn't mean you're not a loving person. Doesn't mean that you're not good people. You just cap so much that can't nobody rely on anything that you say. So I'm not talking about this only just from the perspective of being a high-level individual doing business. I'm talking about this from the perspective of being and making your word bond to somebody else. If you know me, I will drive on 2 wheels to make my word bond if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time. I will do what I got to do to make sure I keep my word bond. I get sticky with that. Don't tell somebody, oh, Sister Sajdah is going to meet you at 2 p.m. And you didn't tell me that I needed to meet them at 2 p.m. because you don't think it's that big of a deal because you're a liar. So it don't really matter to you, but it matters to me because if a person thinks that I'm going to be there at 2, I want to be there at 2. So the point being is that it goes both ways. So we have to make sure that we are what it is that we want. And so a lot of us are good people. We smart. We in business. We got good products. We got good intentions. We help people out, but we don't make the money that we should make because we're always fake. Why are we fake? Because people cannot rely on us to be there for them. They can't rely on our word. So this is what's happening in the business world. So you pull up at the drive-thru at a certain business, order some fries. You don't know the fries got some kind of dye in it that's going to cause cancer for you. You don't know that the fries have been manipulated so they taste extra good. So you kind of become addicted to them. So you keep going through that drive-through over and over and over again, getting exposed to or more exposing your body to the things that are going to cause cancer and obesity and cardiovascular disease, because all that person is worried about is making the money, but they word ain't buying. You can't rely on them. You can't trust them. This is why we talk about during manifestation class on Thursday about growing our own food, trying to find places that we can shop and buy from that we can rely on. Look at all the years that women was putting talcum powder on themselves. That's a tradition in the Black community. The talcum powder, you know, people smelling fresh and ready to go. Come to find out the damn talcum powder is causing cancer. That's an example of being a fake person, and your fakeness really moved into wickedness. See, it's a fine line between over satisfying your ego or focusing only on money as your bottom line and wickedness. Because at a certain point, when your greed overshadows the impact of what you're doing to other people, it turns into wickedness. And let me tell you something. It starts real subtle. I'm sure that restaurant didn't start off like that. They probably started off using the best potatoes from the best farms. But somebody decided that they wanted to make more money. Somebody decided that they wanted to be better than the competition. Somebody decided that they was going to lie so that they show up as something that they're not. Somebody decided that they were going to lie to get attention from somebody, whether it was to increase sales, whether it was to just get extra acknowledgement. Somebody made a decision based on greed, probably a subtle decision. That I wouldn't believe that happened all at once. They didn't just pop up the restaurant and go, boom, here go the fake fries. They probably did it over time, gradually, to the point where most of the food at the restaurant is probably plastic, probably ain't even real. So the point I'm making is that beware of these subtle things that pop up in your personality. You catch yourself telling little lies just to show off, or you catch yourself telling a lie to cover up a mistake. That's the beginning of murdering the God within and murdering that voice within yourself that tells you that it's wrong. Next thing you know, you serving cancerous fake French fries to people in your drive-thru, and people don't know because they think they trust you. They think you got integrity. They think your word is bond. See, what we want is when people shop and dine and do business with us, to the very best of our ability, they can trust it. They can sit down and say, this is a safe space. That's why as Muslims, we have security at every event that we have, because we want to offer the safest environment that we possibly can. We want to protect you. And we should be the same way. That same concept introduced to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of safety and security should permeate through the rest of our lives. Safety and security in love. Safety and security in the information that we share and exchange. Safety and security in how we support one another. Safety and security in how we handle one another. That concept of a check post at the door or having security at the door should be woven and infused into our lives. Your brother or sister should not have to think twice on whether or not they can trust something that you say. And if what you said to them is wrong, they should already know it's because maybe they got some bad information from somewhere. But it shouldn't be because you're trying to be phony or you're trying to fake it out or you're capping, as Brother Aunt D said, that folks are saying now. Stop capping. Stop doing that. Because if you think, see this world, this illusionary world that we live in, got everybody faking it and being so fake and phony and we think that that's leading us to some dollars. We think it's really ultimately leading us to freedom. See, the only reason why you do anything is because you think you're going to feel better once you do it. So when you go out and do something fake, you think, okay, I'm going to feel better once it happens. And when I feel better, maybe I'm going to get more stuff. I'm going to feel better if I look like I'm something that I'm not yet. So what the world is making us do is be fake. And we're phony. And we're sitting up around people and we got one thought in our head, but something else is coming out of our mouth. We can sit next to somebody and see that they're hurting or struggling, and we can ignore it. We can look dead in somebody's face and know that they need help, know that they need something from us, and we can just straight ignore it. Because in that moment of that person being in need and us necessarily noticing it but not doing anything, it gave us a fake power. And in that moment, we felt like the slave master. We felt like the colonizer. In that moment, we finally got an opportunity to dominate. That, trust me, you won't win like that. That is not the way to win. We have to stop mimicking the colonizer's mindset. We got to stop mimicking Yaqub's mindset, the slave master's mindset, whatever you want to call it. Stop mimicking the devil and thinking that is going to get you results that you deserve. It's not going to be long-standing. You might get some temporary gain. You might feel good for a moment. You might even make some money, good money for a moment. But karma takes addresses. And she's a vindictive thing. She comes back later in forms where you don't even recognize her. So, and this is another thing. I said this to somebody the other day. I can't stand somebody that lie about small things. I can't stand somebody that lie about things that ain't even necessary. See, everybody lies. So we can't all be here and act like we don't lie. But some things ain't necessary for you to lie about. You might have to lie to save your life. So save the lie for something bigger. Don't lie about something small. And then another thing that's bad is if you lie about something small, and I know you're lying about the small thing. But what I've learned is to sit back and see how far people going to take the lie. So I'm saying that to us as conscious entrepreneurs, that our word must be bond. Go out there to my Mind of an Entrepreneur show. It's on Spotify. And you'll see a show that I did on word is bond. The origin of that phrase. It ain't a rap phrase. It didn't come from the Wu-Tang Clan. Somebody said they thought Method Man made it up. Love Method Man. Shout out to Meth. He didn't make it up. It came from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that told us that our word must be bond and we will give our life before our word shall fail. That's where it came from. And then in the hip hop culture, we shortened it to just say word is bond. But there's a talk I did on our word being bond. So we want to make our life bond. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes you make a mistake. But you should be found trying to correct that mistake. If anybody comes down on you at the end of the day, you should know and be able to say to Almighty God, Allah, I'm working to correct that mistake. I'm working to get myself together. I'm working to pay back that loan. I'm working to cover whatever it is, whatever the mistake is. You're working towards bettering yourself and becoming better. And at the same time, when you do make a mistake, instead of being phony about it, go into yourself and say, who do I need to become? So I don't have to tell all these little lies. Who do I need to become? So I can stop capping and fronting and faking. Who do I need to become? So I can stop wanting so much attention. Who do I need to become? So that I can be confident in myself and I can love myself. Who do I need to become so that people can rely on me and know that my word is bond? Who do I need to become so that I'm refreshing and I'm a safe asset to those who love me? Who do I need to become to live a life of giving so that Allah don't mind sharing his creations with me because he knows that I'm going to take care of it? Who do I need to become? Those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. We can't be so fake that we pray for something, but we over here demanding and crying to Allah. Why isn't this happening? What's going on? Why are you forsaking me? Now I'm mad at everybody else who got what I say I want. I'm tripping on everybody else because you have not changed. Why would Allah bless you with his creation or bless you from his abundance if he knows that it's just a wasted blessing? Because all you're going to do is go lie and steal. We got to clean that up. It's much more abundant and you have so much more wealth when you're a straight up honest person that people can rely on and that you're working on yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you've been going through this. Just take a minute and just keep it real with yourself and say, you know what? Let me get myself together. Let me figure this out. I was getting on my case last week because I was worrying about something. And I said, sis, you always telling people that they don't know enough to worry. We don't even have a right to worry because something could always happen that we know nothing about. And I said, okay, let me fix myself. Let me work on myself so that as I'm working on myself, that worry goes away. Because when you worry, you're focused on what's not happening as opposed to what is happening. And sometimes if you start focusing on what's not happening, you can spiral into a position where you end up in the drive-thru serving fake fries to people that's causing cancer or selling powder to people that causes cancer. Thousands of people causing cancer because of one lie. So we want to correct that in ourselves. We want to correct the disappointment. We want to correct the worry. We want to work ourselves out of that, have conversations with ourselves, be faithful, be grateful, and look for Allah in everything. That's going to help us come up out of those insecurities because that disappointment is dangerous. All right, let's see what y'all talking about over here in the chat. I see y'all flowing it up. Sister Letha said you are teaching. Brother Andy said, interesting how the words trust and credit are used in the world of finance. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Brother Lamont said, yes, pesticides on branded potatoes. Great example. You have to care about what you are delivering to the public. Yeah, not only the pesticides, Brother Lamont, the dye that they put on the French fries to make them a certain color is like a gas. When your greed overshadows the impact of what you're doing to people, it becomes wickedness. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sister Letha said they knew not only for years, but decades that talcum powder will cause cancer and had no regard for human life. It's terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. So, all right, y'all, I done talk to y'all about that. Got that off my chest. How we doing? I was going to do this. I was going to do another show today because yesterday a sister gave me a gospel song and I was really feeling it in my spirit. And then this morning something said, no, let's talk about cleaning up what we got to clean up inside of ourselves so that as we're accomplishing, we're the modern day conscious entrepreneurs, the modern day accomplishments of the Muslims, the accomplishments of the modern Muslims. And if you say to yourself, well, I'm not a Muslim. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Every black man and woman is a Muslim. All you got to do is just submit. Submit, just like we talked about. What does that mean? People go, oh, well, submit. I mean, I don't really believe in the principles. Yes, you do. These principles we just talked about today in this class that we just talked about are Islamic principles, they're Christian principles, they're Buddhist principles, they're Jewish principles. Submit to those principles, those types of principles. Muslim only means one who submits to do the will of Allah. What is the will of Allah? That you recognize him as a true and living God and the power that he yields. You're praying to him. You're grateful for him. You recognize that there's a power greater than yourself. You know that you're not doing this on your own. You're not breathing on your own. Your heart ain't beating on its own. The trees don't bloom on their own. The flowers don't bloom on their own. Everything don't happen on its own. There's a power outside of yourself that you want to submit to and align yourself with. And in aligning yourself with that, you do that by, for example, the types of principles we talked about. Safe space, knowing how to love, knowing how to create, knowing how to think, knowing how to handle people, not selling products like talcum powder that cause cancer, not selling certain French fries that cause cancer, not hurting people and damaging people. These are the everyday principles of God that if we submit and recognize, it'll be so much better when we do business with one another. It'll be so much better because I'm telling you, it starts with that small little lie that they call the white lie, and it mushrooms up. The talcum powder probably didn't start off like that. Over a certain time, to save money, to make it cheaper, to mass produce, to satisfy somebody's ego, they started adding stuff to it, taking away from it. And next thing you know, it morphed into a product that you don't even recognize. It's like the French fries. You done added to and taken away so much from those original potatoes that you started off with that now the product you serve barely resembles the product you started out with. The only thing is that it probably just got the same shape. Other than that, it ain't even the same. And if we're not careful, these deviations start to compound. We start deviating, we start lying to ourselves. Next thing you know, we're altering the cellular structure in our body. We're altering our DNA. We start producing children that are liars. We start producing everything around us that's negative, that's lying. Our body starts to change shape. We start to look like a liar. We start to present like a liar. Next thing you know, you're not even what Allah created. You're so far away from what he created that he wouldn't even recognize you. All right, family. Okay. So make sure you go to Donate and Sip. And if y'all in the chat and you're coming, let me know if you're coming to Donate and Sip. If you're not coming, please tell me you're going to tune in. Please tell me you're going to make a donation. Man, I can't wait to show y'all the completed Honorable Elijah Muhammad experience. Right down to the modern times. You don't want to miss this. Help us get over this finish line. Get your membership so that you can come to Chicago and come up anytime you want. Go to the museum. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be very well worth it. And let me tell you something. It's time for us to own and monetize our own stories. We got to stop allowing somebody else to tell the stories about ourselves, stories about our leaders, stories about people that we love, stories, period. We want to know the truth. See, the same thing happens to history over time that happens to the French fries. People start adding and taking away and saying this and not saying that. Next thing you know, the story don't even resemble anything of what really happened. I was driving past Malcolm X College the other day, and I was looking at it, and it looked so pretty and it looked so nice. And I was like, I wonder if the people who go there and work there and drive past conceptualize who Malcolm X was, or has Malcolm X become so watered down that the fact that you're walking into Malcolm X College doesn't even bring a sense of pride to you? It's an interesting concept. We drive down King Drive. We just say, oh, it's on 43rd and King Drive, or it's on such and such on Martin Luther King in Southeast in DC, or you know, Southside King Drive in Chicago, whatever, all the King Drive. But do we really stop to think and have a sense of pride over the street naming? Or has the message become so watered down that we don't even think about the fact that this is a street named after one of our great leaders, or a school named after an iconic figure in our culture? So don't let your life become that. Tell your own story. Support other people who are working to tell the stories of our great people. In this case, Sajdah House, SajdahHouseDonations.com. So thank you, everyone. Thank you in the chat. I appreciate you all. I see lots of comments. I can't even keep up with y'all today. Okay, a lot of people saying that they'll be there. They live and walk in integrity. That's right, Sister Marva. Live and walk in integrity. Brother Aunt D said universal principles. Brother Lamont said he likes my musical choices. Yeah, I'm working on I worked last night late, making sure that 3 hours worth of songs on the playlist all had the right notes and the right tones and the right vibrations, so that it would support the energy. This is the granular level of detail. I call this the mustard seed of detail. You know how they say Jesus said that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. I'm doing my hand like this because mustard seed is so small. Well, that's how I look at details, down to the granular details. And then once I listened to it through, I deleted some songs, I moved some things around, because I want the energy of peace, of love, of the rich, safe abundance that the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad represent. I wanted those tones to come through in the music, and I wanted it to be global, so that you understand that his word and his influence reaches beyond the globe into the stratospheres. So, all right, peace and blessings, family. I will see you all today. Inshallah, don't forget, we have halal certified non-alcoholic champagne, and we have Sajdah bean pie infused ice cream from Sean Michelle's. And shout out to Sean Michelle's, because they're celebrating their grand opening today. You can spend all day with the Muslims today. You got the Eid festival happening at Mosque Mariam. You got the grand opening of Sean Michelle's in Olympia Fields. And then you got Donate and Sip at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. I say make a day of it and celebrate and calibrate yourself to feeling good and celebration, and just go from one celebration to the other. Start off with prayer at Mosque Mariam. I'm sure you'll be able to tune in if you're not there. Start off there. Move to celebrating the success of a business. Get you some good ice cream, because it's something about ice cream that releases those endorphins in your brain. And then head on over to Donate and Sip and just feel the vibrations and support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Thank you, family. I appreciate you all, and we will see you all tonight.